Follow the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and you'll hear that settlements are a major sticking point. But what exactly are they? Israeli settlements are residential areas built by Israel on occupied Palestinian territory primarily for Jewish communities. But here's the thing, they are illegal under international law. In fact, these benign-looking suburbs are actually a violation of the Fourth Geneva Convention, according to the UN. Why? Because the Fourth Geneva Convention, which outlines protections for civilians in a war zone, forbids states from transferring their citizens to occupied land. But Israel has been doing exactly that since it occupied the West Bank in the 1967 war. By building these illegal settlements, Israel is trying to ensure it retains possession of that land even under any future peace deal. That's one of the main reasons why negotiations keep breaking down. While Israel insists that any agreement should allow it to keep most of the settlements, the Palestinians say they can't negotiate over land that Israel is continuously eating into. Since the start of the Oslo negotiations in 1993, the number of Israeli settlers on occupied Palestinian land has actually doubled to 500,000. And despite the fact that in 2005, Israel did withdraw settlers from Gaza and some from the West Bank, the total number of settlers continues to grow. So, what drives so many Israelis to live in these illegal settlements? Well, many settlers go out of the religious conviction that it's their right to live there. But religion aside, the Israeli government also encourages settlement by offering lower tax rates, subsidized housing, and easier loans. And even though the settlements are deep inside the occupied West Bank, their infrastructure directly connects them to Israel. The Israeli army is heavily deployed to protect the settlements. Over 200 kilometers of road have been built on Palestinian land for the exclusive use of settlers. And while Israeli settlers in the West Bank are bound by Israeli civil law, Palestinians there live under Israeli military rule, meaning they're subject to checkpoints, curfews, detention without charge, and other restrictions. That's life under military occupation. So, what does this all mean in terms of a solution to the conflict or a Palestinian state? Well, the physical presence of the settlements themselves have broken up the occupied West Bank into many small, disconnected areas. And even though the built-up areas of the settlements make up barely 3% of the West Bank, the roads, military bases, and security zones that form the settlement infrastructure take up 40%. And it doesn't look like that number is getting smaller anytime soon. So there you have it. Negotiations stop and start over how much land either side gets to keep in the occupied West Bank. And all the while, the Israeli government continues to build more and more settlements on that land every year.